You raising your hand at my request? So you're a Toastmaster and you're not, you're a guest, okay. You're not a Toastmaster. You're not a Toastmaster, okay. I can. I can be the second timer.
Okay.
I was wanting to make sure that everyone else had an opportunity first. HealthMasters is now called to order. I have to stop and think before I say the wrong club name. I've done that before. One time at Capitol, I said Saline County. Welcome to our humorous speech and table topics contest. You're in for some exciting speeches and table topics answers where we have some dynamic speakers who will be here to present for your entertainment and enjoyment. We have already drawn for speaking order. I will announce to you the speaking order. I had individual numbers which were drawn by the contestants just a few moments ago. For the humorous speech contest, Christine Sassy will be the first speaker. Aaron Padua Evans will be the second speaker. Did I pronounce that correctly, Aaron? Padua Evans. I was close. Speaker number 3 will be Jana Jacobs. Under table topics, Carol Jackson will be number 1. Aaron Padua Evans will be number 2. And Charlie Simpson will be number 3. Any questions on the speaking order? Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our chief judge for today is a distinguished Toastmaster. She has been an area governor and a division director. She is a current division director for Division B. She's also a past president of our club and the current vice president of education. Contest chief judge will come and give us a brief explanation of the rules of our contest. Please help us welcome Joyce Biddle.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is our first contest of the 2016-2017 year, and I'd like to welcome you all. We've already been welcomed. We want to get started with an exciting contest this year. Yay! Most of our contestants, I want to say all of our contestants are new members of our club, and I want to express how that excites me, because they are jumping in there and doing all these things that our old members seem to not want to do. And I just want to thank all of you for that. First of all, let's get started. First rule, eligibility. To be eligible to compete in a contest, the members must be a current member of the club in which they are competing and be eligible at all areas at all levels, including the division, the district in which they are competing. They also must be maintain eligibility throughout from club to area to district to international, if that's the case. If any time during that time they lose their eligibility, they will forfeit all levels which they have earned. That's a new rule that Toastmasters International has put in place. Now, for speech preparation, since this is humorous speech, in humorous speech, the humorous speech must be substantially your own. You can use 25% of quoted material, but it must be quoted. Must quote it. That can cause you to be disqualified if you do not quote something from somebody else. Must cite the source. Okay, now, timing. For humorous speech, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Contestant will be disqualified if they speak for less than 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. For table talkers, the timing is 1 minute to 2 minutes. You'll be disqualified if you speak for less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Timing lights for humorous speech will come on at 5 minutes and will remain on. Well, let me back up. The green light will come on at 5 minutes and will remain on for 1 minute. The yellow light will come on at 6 minutes and remain on for 1 minute. The red light will come on at 7 minutes and will remain on until the speaker has finished speaking. For table topics, the green light will come on at 1 minute and remain for 30 seconds. The yellow light will come on at 1 minute 30 seconds and remain on for 30 seconds. The red light will come on at 2 minutes and remain on until the speaker stops speaking. Protests are limited to the chief judge, the contest chair, and judges. The only people that can lodge a protest are those folks as well as the contestants. The audience cannot lodge a protest. And protests are limited to eligibility and originality. And protests must be given before the announcement of the winners. Oh yeah, and 1 minute of silence between each contestant for the judges to their counting on that contestant. At the end of each contest, the judge has 2 minutes to make their voting. Okay? Anything else?
Turn off your cell phone.
Oh yes, everybody turn off your cell phone.
Vibrate
Or put them on vibrate, something to that effect. Okay? And I do want to make sure that timing begins first. Okay, from the flag to the camera, wall to the deck. Right? Okay? Any other questions? I believe we're going to turn it back over to the contest chair.
Here we go.
One point of clarification concerning eligibility. Another new rule has been established by Toastmasters International effective this year. There is no longer a grace period when it comes to dues. Your dues are due on October 1st. If they're not paid by September 30th, you are no longer a Toastmaster under Toastmasters rules and therefore ineligible for any contest. Make sure you turn in your dues before September 30th to allow us to get them to Toastmasters International to prevent you from losing your membership and eligibility. Any questions on that? got to turn them in by September 30th, which means you need to get them to us about a week ahead of that to give us time to get it in. You know that the computer's going to be locked up the last few days. I will give the speaker's name, the title, and the speaker's name. That will be the appropriate introduction. Speaker number 1, Christine Sassy. Losing my head. Losing my head, Christine Sassy.
Thank you. Did you know people spend about 2 hours a week on the toilet? Now, Toastmasters and guests, you know me. You know I'm not an overanalyzer. No, I didn't do that. But my calculations reveal that if I go camping 10 weekends in a year, I will lose 1 full day of my leisure time to sitting on a toilet. I needed a remedy for this. That number increases exponentially if I'm on a boat, because I'm a woman. The time it takes to peruse the shores, looking for a tree that is wider than my hips. Not easy. Then winter comes along, and it's too cold to jump in the water and swim to said tree. So I resort to antics like climbing down the boat ladder like a deranged koala bear. And if a boat happens to pass by, sure, just hanging out back here in the frigid water, not doing anything strange. It's a humiliating and demoralizing process. So I began to nag my husband that we needed a boat with a toilet. That was the answer to everything. So we did it. Yeah, it was 30 years old, but it was beautiful. We bought a 25-foot cabin cruiser with a head. The name for toilet, according to Navy origins, is a head. And I was so excited. I was so excited. I went in for the first time and looked. And there was just this red button to push, to flush. Red button. Yes, it did seem a little bit like pushing something for a biohazard alert, but okay, simple enough. So, went in, ready. First time, no peeing in the water, no peeing behind a tree. Here we go. Push! It flushed! Oh my gosh, I was so happy. And then the fuse blew. So, I didn't give up. But by the end of the day, I had blown $6 worth of fuses, and my husband determined my bodily habits to be unworthy. So, a couple of years later, we did upgrade. We got a little bit of a nicer boat. In fact, this was the Taj Mahal of boat heads, in my humble opinion. To illustrate, it was something like this. Head, toilet, much smaller, but it was shiny. And I could almost stand up in it without bumping my head. And if I clasped the wall to deal with the waves, I could, you get the picture. So, flushing was not quite easy on this one. It was fancy. You could do input, outflow, macerate. Macerate, what? Does this have a ninja blender built into the toilet? But it was better than the first boat, which had given me these warnings. Do not put solids in the head. What exactly is a solid? No more fiber for me. 2, do not put anything in the head unless you've eaten it first. Number 3, take extra care to instruct visitors and the elderly about the proper use of a marine head. So much for impressing guests. So, I now had my full shining head. What's even better, it was enclosed. It could become a shower. I could get clean. Boat camping, that lasted only so long. The flushing involved grabbing lever and yanking it and pushing it. We're pulling in lake water and then we're pushing it back into that holding tank, which sloshes around in the bottom of your boat, even though you're pretending to be sophisticated, but you have yucky stuff floating around. That wouldn't be so bad. It was a little bit of an aerobic workout, except that the whole time it emitted this excruciating the whole could hear it. Being behind a tree was more privacy than this. Later, it rebelled again. Dark water bubbled up, and we discovered that we needed to replace the joker valve. Joker valve? Really? This convinced me that marine mechanics have an evil sense of humor. The final straw was the night I stumbled into the bathroom late, reached for the macerating button, and hit shower. Except, it was winter. And we'd winterized the boat. And so, that biodegradable special antifreeze that you fill your tank with is Pepto-Bismol pink and is gooey as molasses. So I emerged at 2 in the morning in the waves, turned into the pink monster from the lagoon. I don't own a boat anymore, but I will again. Sailboats have porta potties. Porta potties are looking pretty good right now. And if not, spending that 2 hours on the toilet at home sounds just fine for me. Thank you.
Timers, please give us 1 minute for the judges to complete their forms when 1 minute has expired. Any judges need more time? Speaker number 2, Aaron Padua Evans. That first time. That first time. Aaron Padua Evans.
Thank you, everybody. Today, I want to take you back. Back and talk about love. Not any special. As you can imagine, I'm a high school kid, 15 years of age, dashingly handsome, all 145 pounds of me. So, a very good friend of mine, his name's Scott. I won't say his last name, some of y'all might know him. Known me for a while, and although he knows of my alleged hundreds of women and concubines all over the world, he says, Aaron, we're going to double date this weekend. I'm going to help you out with your little problem. Problem? I ain't got no problem. He's like, and already had hundreds of women and concubines all across the world. I'm ready. Truth is, I had a first kiss, much less. But, hey, I'm a man, right? I can't let my friends and people know that I'm nervous. I'm about to I'm going to give her 38 seconds of the best time of her life. I know it. Now, I'm out there. I'm getting things set up. Romance. You know what I'm talking about. So, we go out. We have a nice little bit of Taco Bell. You know, I got on my parachute pants, my Puma shoes, my sleeveless shirt. You know, the 80s were great. They were great. I'm ready, so we go to Taco. All I can think about, what am I going to do? I know at some point we're going to go parking. I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? She's going to want me. I don't even know how to do that. So, I don't know, them little cinnamon twists that you get, I don't know why they taste horrible, but you know, I'm just slow. Well, they're wanting to go. Unlike me, they had already experienced. But I digress. So, we finish up, and we do what anybody else wants to do. Love it. So, we have a few drinks, we go around. Now, I must tell you, Mad Dog 2020, Strawberry Hill, Taco Bell. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't go very well. But I'm 15 years old, I'm a man, I've had hundreds of women, concubines all the way across the world. I'm ready. I have visioned myself going the whole 60 seconds. I know tonight's the night. Classy place. Me and my friend call it the Bat Cave. How do we call it the Bat Cave? Well, if you go to West Memphis, Arkansas, you drive out there where they have the huge electronic I don't know what it's called out there, where all the energy, their hubs out there. Well, if you go right around back there, there's a little bushes out there. It's like a cave. Now, granted, you hear the hum of the electricity. It's probably going to end up giving me cancer or something over here because we spent so many times out there. Obviously, so we did the classic thing. Right between two windows, so they could be in the front seat, we could be in the back seat. All class. Pick this woman and bring her into womanhood for 60 seconds. I want her to do it right. I don't know. I have no idea. Burn. Ellen knows a veteran and she knows she's got one on the hook tonight. I pull right out of the car. Run. I'm jumping out. I run 3 miles back home. Police station, the judge, Taco Bell. And believe me, at this point, I really had to go. Run back, ran to my house, didn't speak to nobody for the rest of the night. Friend calls me the next day. He goes, Aaron, what's going on? You had a date with Faithful Fowler. Mom told me a long time ago that if I ever looked, I would turn to stone. And brother, I felt myself becoming a statue. Thank y'all. Same part, that's a true story.
Timer, please give us 1 minute on the clock for the judges to complete their paperwork. Wait till we post it on the internet tomorrow. Do any judges need more time? Speaker number 3, Jana Jacobs, the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker, Jana Jacobs.
Hot mic, hot mic. When I gave my icebreaker speech, one of the comments I got was, I didn't really tell y'all anything about myself. I'd like to take that opportunity today. Like many of you, I was born a small child. I was the youngest of 5 children. My father was a high school English teacher, and my mother was a nurse's aide in the small rural hospital where I was born. My siblings, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, were born within 4 years. And I came along 5 years later. So I was the tiebreaker. Kids love babies. My brothers and sisters loved their baby sister. They showered me with love and affection. Essentially what my parents had done is given my brothers and sisters a pet baby. My sisters fed and groomed and dressed me. My brothers taught me tricks. I could ride a bike by the time I was 3 years old without training wheels. I could swim at 2. At 3, I also learned how to read while attending my oldest sister's school. I was her only student. While my sisters had a pet baby, I had a staff of 4 who attended to my every want and need. My hands would never be sullied with the toils of the common labor expected of a toddler. My sister would carry me around town in our wagon as the locals would approach, hoping for an audience with me. My sister would say, "Don't use baby talk. Talk to her like you would any other person. She understands you." But my life was about to change, and not for the better. My mom got a job in the billing department of a chic women's clothing store in Sioux City, about 30 miles from our hometown. I was going to have to go to daycare with other kids. I hadn't really spent a lot of time around other kids my age. And I really hadn't spent a lot of time around other adults who did not understand the luxuries that I had become accustomed to. Turns out, kids don't like it when you tell them things like, "You should just read that story to yourself," or "Take that letter to Santa home to your parents because they're the ones that are really going to need it." Try as I might, I could not get that staff to understand that I should not possibly be expected to carry my own lunch tray or tie my own shoes. And I was very vocal in my protest. There was one bright side of that time, and that was the time my mother and I got to spend in the car to and from the way to the city for her to go to work and for me to go to daycare. It was the mid-'70s, and she was a woman of the times. She was coming into her own, and she was a full supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment. Helen Reddy would come on the radio. We would sing at the top of our lungs. "I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too good to ignore. And I know too much to turn back and pretend." Should get extra points for singing, by the way. "Oh yes, I am wise, but that's wisdom born of pain. Christ, but look how much I've gained. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman." One chilly morning on the way to school, we hit a deer. And it smashed the front of the car, and I slammed into the dashboard and underneath where the wheel well is. It was the 70s, no seat belts, no child seats. Wasn't her fault. My mom got out and she dragged the deer to the side of the road, and we managed to get the car to the nearest service station. And I heard her on the phone with my father telling him that his wife and his baby girl had been in an accident. And I saw her face change. I saw her change as she considered the very first question he asked. Put the phone to her chest and she asked the attendant, "He wants to know if there was any damage." Through teary eyes, as I was still shaken from the events of the morning, I said, "Mom, tell him I think we killed it." We were about to experience another change in our life. My mom became a single parent of 5 children. She was strong. She was invincible. And I became a little less of a diva. But I do remember asking my first grade teacher, "Who will be taking care of our coats?" Point singing.
Timers, please give us 2 minutes for the judges to complete their ballots. Judges, please remember to sign and date your ballots. Once you are complete, please tear off the bottom portion, fold it, and hold it up to be collected by the counters. Do any judges need any more time? Are there any judges who have not turned in their ballots? We will move directly into our table topics contest. First contestant will be Carol Jackson, the second Aaron Padua Evans, the third Charlie Simpson. Joyce is passing out the judges' ballots for the second contest. All judges have their ballots for the table topics contest. Contestant number 1, please step forward. Contestants numbers 2 and 3, please meet Adrian, the Sergeant at Arms, at the back of the room who will take you outside and down the hallway until you are called for to give your answer. All contestants will use the same question. That is why contestants 2 and 3 are leaving the room, in order that they do not get an unfair advantage. Carol Jackson. If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? Carol Jackson.
If I had unlimited funds, I would travel to Africa. I've had the opportunity to work for HIV and AIDS program before coming to the Department of Health. And I'm always looking at people on Facebook, or even people that I know that are infected, that's going there trying to help the people get into treatment. And so I would take the unlimited funds to help Africa get the medication, the doctors, and to pay expenses for people that need help. Because to me, time is more valuable than money. That's what I would do with unlimited funds. That's it. Well, in addition to that, I would help homeless people. I've never been homeless, but I couldn't imagine being homeless nor hungry. Every opportunity that I have to give, I'm giving, because to me, time is worth more than money. When we leave this earth, nobody is going to bag back a bank account, a IRA, a CD, or even your personal business that you've left behind with millions of dollars. They will not bag up a bank and pour the money on you. You cannot take it with you, so give back. Now that is my final answer.
Timer, please give us 1 minute for the judges to complete their paperwork. Someone bring contestant number 2. Any judges need more time? Contestant number 2, Aaron Padua Evans. If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? Aaron Padua Evans.
Unlimited funds, where would I travel and why? That's an easy question for me. Australia. I've always wanted to travel to Australia. I am one of those nerd people that are kind of a shark enthusiast. Okay, I'm scared of sharks. I'll just be honest. I'm scared of sharks. But I've always would like to go down there and experience the barrier reef to see the sharks. They actually have some tours that you could go out there. And it's about $10,000, but they'll take you out on a nice yacht. They'll cruise you out there. They'll feed you. You have your own personal chef. And then you get out to the Cape, and then they'll put you in this big cage, good sturdy cage, and you can get down in the water. They'll put the lid, and these big great white sharks will come by when you feed them, and you can, touch them, I guess I would assume, on the back part since you don't want your fingers. I'd like to see that. I always think that the Outback would be a wonderful place to go. I see this stuff on A&E and the Discovery Channel, and I really enjoy nature. And as we move forward with progress across the world, a lot of the rainforests, a lot of these natural places are going, they're shrinking down. So in the next 20 to 30 years, you're not actually even going to be able to see any of this stuff. So for me, if I had unlimited money, I would want to go to Australia just so I could pet a shark, see a dingo, and maybe have a breakfast with the kangaroo man down there. That's all. Thank you.
Timers, please give us 1 minute for the judges to complete their paperwork. Do any judges need more time? Contestant number 3, Charlie Simpson. If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? If you had unlimited funds, where would you travel and why? Charlie Simpson.
If I had unlimited money, I would have to travel overseas. My first venture would be to Paris. I have to see the Eiffel Tower. And why? Because as a little kid, you watch TV, and the first thing you look at are couples standing by the Eiffel Tower in love, and that's the picture that I must have, standing by the Eiffel Tower with my wife and being in love. If I also had unlimited money, the next place that I would go is Disney World. Now, why Disney World? Because I have 3 little kids, a set of twins that are 2 years old, and a 5-year-old. And to be able to walk around with kids that young and to run after them, to try to get them from running into lines that they don't supposed to be in, to keep them from running and getting food that they shouldn't be getting. I would highly enjoy being able to travel and just experience that with those kids. And so if I had unlimited money, those would be the adventures that I would take in my life.
Timer, please give us 2 minutes for the judges to complete their paperwork. Judges, remember to sign and date your ballots. Tear off the bottom portion after it's completed, put it in the envelope, hold it up to be collected by the timer. Are there any judges who have not turned in their ballots? Will all contestants for both contests please come to the front? All contestants for both contests. Where are we missing? Donna needed to leave, we knew that. While they're counting the ballots, I'm going to ask some more table topics questions of the candidates. They will in no way be affecting the results of the contest. Christine Sassy. On your speech contestant profile, you said one of your notable accomplishments was Arkansas Young Dietitian of the Year. Tell us about that.
Yes, in the year 2000, I was honored with Arkansas Young Dietitian of the Year. I would not qualify for that these days. I'm not quite as young. However, in the position in WIC that I was in, I was afforded the opportunity to really reach out and be proactive and speak in a multitude of venues, and that, I think, helped catapult me to that, and then having a supervisor that was very supportive. Ironically, when I accepted the award, I was 7 months pregnant, so I got to march up on the stage in front of 500 dietitians with a big belly and swollen feet. So I remember that year quite well.
Aaron Padua Evans, one of your interests is fishing. Tell us about that.
Yes. You might not know it by looking at me, but I love to fish. And I don't like to get brim or crappie. I like catfishing. I like to go out, find me a hole somewhere that nobody has found, get some stink bait. For those of you who don't know what stink bait is, it's all the blood and guts of all these old fish and animals that you find, and they sell it in a tub about this big. But the key is you buy it brand new, you put it in the back of your truck, let the sun beat on it for about 2 or 3 weeks, let it bake out there, then you get it to have this little artificial worm. You take it and you stick it in that nice smelly stink bait. Ugh. But as you guys know, catfish are bottom feeders. You toss that bad boy out there, and it won't take but 2 or 3 minutes, and they'll eat it up. And I've gotten probably 6 or 8 pounders off of stink bait. So I love to fish. I like to go out and have a little cocktail while I'm fishing. It's my alone time. And when they're slow, I can read a book or have a drink. But I love catfishing.
Charlie Simpson, you said your favorite quote was, "People may doubt what you say, but believe what you do." Expound on that.
At a young age, I was the kid that had to sit back and watch all the popular guys get the girls. And so from that experience, I just sat back and I remember looking at those individuals and thinking to myself, it's all about action. Which ones are telling the truth? Which ones are saying what they need to say to get what they want? But more importantly, it taught me to always believe the things, the actions that people are doing. Maya Angelou had a quote that said, you must always believe a person's actions. And actions mean anything. Despite what you're saying, despite what you're informing others, It's all about your actions, and that is the reason why that was one of my favorite quotes.
Carol Jackson, one of your hobbies is bargain shopping. Tell us about that.
I love to bargain shop. I'll tell you about some items that I found, and I spend either $1, $2, or $4. Well, we'll start with the $1. I found a authentic Louis Vuitton purse valued at $599. I spent $1 for it. It was brand new. My $2 item that I found was Ralph Lauren crossbody briefcase for $2, immaculate condition. I even had Patricia Minor ask me for it. The third thing that I found for $4 was an oil lamp. It's a goddess oil lamp, and it works. $4, valued $499. So I love to bargain shop. I have an eye for things. I like very unusual things. My taste is a little different, but I know what I like.
I have to take you with me when I go shopping. What type of places do you go to shop?
I'm not sure. I was. And when I see the flyer.
I believe our results are in. The envelope, please. Just a little detail on the certificates, and we will be ready. Keep in mind the contest for area. The number one candidate from each contest will be moving forward. Joyce, do we have 4 or fewer clubs in our area? We have 4 or fewer clubs in our area. Therefore, the first and second place contestants will be eligible to move forward to the area contest, which takes place on October 1st at St. Vincent Hospital at Markham and University. If either the first or second place winner is not available to go to the area contest, the third place winner will step up and compete at the area contest with the other contestant. Therefore, all candidates today are eligible to move forward. depending on whether the first or second is able to be there. The winner of the area will move forward to the district on October 15th at the same location, excuse me, the division B, and then the winner of the division will go to district in Memphis, Tennessee. Winner speech contest. Second place, Jana Jacobs. Humorous speech contest. First place, Aaron Padua Evans. Table topics. Second place, Charlie Simpson. Table topics. First place, Aaron Padua Evans. These are all new Toastmasters. You veterans should have stepped up. Probably couldn't have beat these guys because they're all outstanding. But I encourage all of you to step up at the next conference. Any club business we need to discuss before we adjourn? Already did that. Just did that about 5 minutes ago. Remember your dues. If you do not get your dues to us by September 23rd, there's a good possibility you will no longer be a Toastmaster on October 1st. There is no grace period anymore. Get your dues in. See Sonia, myself, Joyce, one of the officers, get your dues to us as soon as possible. Dues are how much, Joyce, this year? $51.
That covers the $45 for PI, $6 for the club. Now, you all that are paid by the agency, you all need to pay us $6. Pay that cash or a check, and the agency will pay the $45. Okay?
Any other business to cover before we adjourn? Seeing none, we'll see you next week. Meeting adjourned.